He's a rapper, a rocker, and a country charter. A stone-cold pimp with a deep love for music.
Followed his heart, man. He stayed true to it, stayed true to the music, and this is his payoff, you know.
Be black man and funk daddy, death staff.
On his long rise to fame, Kid Rock has jammed with icons and has been with some of the hottest babes on the planet.
I've never gone, wow, this is cool. This rock and roll thing's fun.
But selling 17 million albums has been anything but a cakewalk. In a decade-long quest for respect, Rock defied rejection, shattered stereotypes, and toiled in obscurity for years.
Well, I'm packing up my game and I'm my head out west.
Kid Rock was not like the typical white boy with a silver spoon in his mouth. Kid Rock left all that to come down to Detroit and become a mega superstar.
You could just see that it was gonna happen. There was no stopping that kid.
He knew what he wanted, you know? And to this day, he's never let anything let him deviate from that dream, that ideal.
Kid Rock was born Bob Ritchie in January of 1971, the third of 4 children in an upper-class family that lived among the wide open spaces and rolling hills of Romeo, Michigan.
It's a quote-unquote great place to raise kids.
We were kind of in the middle of nowhere. We were in the country. There was no ifs, ands, buts about it.
We grew up in an old apple orchard, so it was a lot of picking apples, throwing tomatoes, harassing each other.
Bob's father, Bill, was one of the most successful car dealers in Michigan and a strict patriarch who instilled a rigid sense of duty in his kids.
He was intense. He based things on what I call old school principles. You're a man of your word. You're only as good as your word. Hard work, honest work, and you attend church.
There weren't any free gifts with my kids. They earned whatever they got because I always felt that that's the only way they'd appreciate what they have.
But the Ritchies played as hard as they worked. And it wasn't long before the children learned the difference between a long neck and a bottle of Jack.
When Friday night rolled around, it was the time to let all hell break loose. And that was just getting warm for Saturday night.
They used to love to get drunk and, rock Bob Seger out, have barn parties. I would go to sleep, with Live Bullet playing in my head every night.
By the age of 3, Bob had no choice but to be in on the act.
About 2 in the morning, we'd be dead asleep. They'd come knocking on the door. Hey, Bobby, put on your cowboy boots. Put on your vest. Come on upstairs. We want you to entertain our friends.
And he stood up on that bench, and he got everybody's attention. He sang Bad, Bad Leroy Brown.
Chicago is the baddest part of town.
We were all in shock. We looked and went, where did this come from?
A man named Leroy Brown.
So he always had a knack for music.
But tragedy would soon strike the Ritchie household. On a wintry Michigan day in 1975, Bob and his brother Bill begged their father to take them for a joyride on the family's tractor.
We were driving up on a tractor. My dad had the brush hog on the back. He was going to get a strip of mowing done as we were driving up. It started to rain a little bit.
And me and him were kind of screwing around, playing around a little bit. And before I knew it, I slipped off. All I remember is Bobby looking down at me, asking me to get up. I could hear him, but I couldn't actually get up. And then I looked over and I saw my dad basically freaking out.
And the only thing I remember is I think my mom screaming, get blankets, get blankets. It was all kind of like slow motion.
Bleeding profusely after being caught under the tractor, Billy was rushed to the hospital. After 6 weeks and multiple surgeries, he returned home, but his right leg was gone forever.
It had a profound effect on how my family reacted to it. All of a sudden, I became the most important centerpiece of the family, where all the attention and focus was on getting me well and to heal me. As a result, everybody else in the family, including Bobby, got very little attention.
I remember somebody saying to me one time, you have 3 children. And I went, no, I have 4. I said, well, who's the fourth? And I said, Bobby. Oh, we didn't know there was a Bobby. Yeah, there's a Bobby.
That created a tremendous drive within him to become famous. What about me? How do I get recognized?
Virtually ignored and seeking something to call his own, little Bobby immersed himself in a new form of music. By the early 80s, he'd been seduced by the beats and lyrics of early rap pioneers.
I was really influenced by hip-hop initially, and a lot of blues-based rock and roll.
The genuine article.
And to me, hip-hop was really the blues of our age.
Sugar Hill Gang, Grandmaster Flash, Run DMC, Kool Moe Dee, Houdini. That's something that really fired him up. That created a purpose for once. Now I know what I want to do.
Barely in his teens, Bob begged his parents for a Radio Shack mixer and a pair of primitive belt-driven turntables.
A belt-driven turntable has no speeds. So to mix records, I had to speed the record up with my finger. Plus, I had no one out there to show me, so I learned how to scratch with my hands on the turntable so I could...
He would literally sit in there and tinker with these things all day. Didn't care a rat's ass about school, but wanted to make beats.
By the time he was 15, Bob had acquired some serious skills, but the placid country setting of Romeo wasn't exactly a hotbed for hip-hop dreams. Instead, Bob ventured several miles down the road into a different world, a town called Mount Clemens.
Mount Clemens was basically the black area.
Romeo is country as hell. Mount Clemens is way faster.
Now, yes, I'm new, but before I'm through, you're gonna see I paddle my own canoe, cause I'm solo. A young pawn to go close to an angel, but I wear no halo.
It's the same old white boy tale, you know? White kid goes, watches black people, and, you know, loves the culture and the music.
Eager to have a stage of his own, Bob began spinning at makeshift basement parties for a measly $20 a pop.